Hello, welcome to Celtic Down Under. My name is Laura and I am joined by Liam as we review the third of four teams in Group G at the Qatar World Cup. How you doing, Liam?
Aye, it's Sweden we're covering today, right?
No, you were close with the lettering. It's actually Switzerland that we're covering. Just to clarify for everybody
Ugh.
watching, this is the state we are now in at this point of the World Cup previews. Um, I'm falling to bits basically, and Liam can only barely manage to find a top that vaguely resembles the country he's supposed to be reviewing. So, a nice shirt
Ugh.
it is, though. To be fair,
Yeah. Also, they probably have about as much chance of winning the World Cup as Switzerland do. But let's get into
should we
that.
just quit this video here and now? I don't know.
No,
Um,
no, no.
let's go
If
for
we
it.
if,
Listen,
if we can do Iran and Saudi Arabia, we can do Switzerland. Come on.
absolutely, and let's be honest. For the 12 people watching, we've done this for ourselves. Like nobody else. We did this to ourselves. Nobody told
Yes.
us to do this. This was our own bright idea. So anyway. I have to say I was thinking I might struggle to talk about anything to do with Switzerland until I remembered looking at their qualifying group that
Hmm.
they well that is not the right tab. Um oh there we go. Um they knocked out Italy, obviously.
Hmm.
Because of Switzerland, Italy are not appearing at this World Cup. What does
Uh,
that say to you about their potential strength? Is that more of an indication of Italy's weakness, or is it more of an indication of Switzerland's dominance, do you think?
I think it speaks to Italy being inconsistent, but it also speaks to Switzerland just maintaining a constant level that gets the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, any team that prevents Kyle Lafferty from playing at a major tournament is okay in my book.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. I've already had to put up with Borna Barisic. I don't want Kyle Lafferty there as well, but anyway. No, but Switzerland are one of those teams. When you actually look at their history at the World Cup, they're relatively frequent appearers at the World Cup, and one of those teams that, as we've talked about with various teams before, one of those teams that they might never be in with a chance of winning, but certainly in recent years they've been kind of an ever present and somebody that you just kind of expect to be at these tournaments. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's one of them. It's a surprise when they're no there. To be honest, you wonder, oh, what happened? Why are Switzerland not here this time? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And that might
yeah.
be a recency bias thing because obviously there's so many years that they didn't qualify. But I
Mm.
mean, recent times they've got to the round of six. You know they're not totally also rans either. They got to the round of 16 in '94. They got to the round of 16 in 2006, and both 2014 and 18, and only went out in the group stage in 2010 of the most recent World Cup. So you know qualifying from any group, but particularly one where second place is between teams of the caliber of them, Serbia and Cameroon, it's not completely within the realms of possibility that they will take that second place, is it?
No, not at all. As I said before, I think this for the second place in this group, it is one of the most competitive groups in the tournament.
Yeah.
Any of the three of them could take it, and Switzerland are probably my second favourite to do it because I think Serbia have slightly more quality.
Hmm.
But as we'll get into, Switzerland do have some very handy players who can cause problems for the best defences.
We will get into the handy players that they have, but you seem to cut short of saying it. But as a man who likes a little flutter from time to time, do you have any
Hmm.
money on Switzerland or anybody from this group to make it out? Do you think?
Right. What I do every tournament, I have a group section bet where I
Yes.
bet one team in each group, and then I do trebles and up. Right.
Right.
So basically, if three or more of my teams win their groups, I get money back. Right.
Right.
Now, if all eight of the teams I have picked win their groups,
Okay.
I will win £55,000.
Wow. Is there any
But
particularly long shots in there? That seems like an awful
yes,
lot of
yes,
money.
there is. So I took Holland to win Group A. because I think that's a pretty shooty in one. England's group, I took the USA.
Okay, so that'll
which,
lengthen the odds a little bit.
Yes. The next group, who's the next group?
See, was we should probably have looked up the groups before we started this conversation.
I'm
to be
just going to have a quick swatch at my phone here. Oh, here we go. Right. So, the next group is Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland, and Argentina.
Yeah.
I actually took Mexico in that group.
Right, okay, which might not be such a bad shout now.
No. Group D, I took Denmark, who got a disappointing draw with Tunisia last night, so they're not looking great.
Yeah.
Now, here's the wild one. I took Japan in the group that's got Germany and Spain in it.
Oh, that's understandable, though. We'll give you that one.
Yeah. I took Croatia in the group with Belgium, Canada, and Morocco.
Yeah.
And in this group, I took Serbia, simply because Brazil are the heavy favourites, and as a general rule, I don't bet anything that's odds on.
Right, okay.
I don't like any bet where I can't win back more than I put on, if you know what I mean.
Right. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Liam is not going to win £55,000.
Yes. Yeah, and in the final group H, I took Uruguay. So
excellent. They might be a bit of a safer bet, to be honest, but we'll get on to Group H in good time. Back to Switzerland. Let's have a look at the squad and the players that you talked about that could potentially make a difference for them at this World Cup. One of the more famous names between the sticks for Switzerland is, of course, Jan Sommer of Borussia Mönchengladbach. He will undoubtedly be first choice for this squad. A strange one to see 4 keepers going there for it, and I'm not entirely sure why, but they are taking 4 keepers, and Jan Sommer will undoubtedly be first choice. How big a figure is he going to be for Switzerland at this World Cup based on previous performances?
Oh, he's a massive presence. More than just a goalkeeper, he's an organizer. He's a commanding force across the defence, and yeah, he will. He'll look to keep that whole organisation in order, because the one thing Switzerland will need, going up against especially teams like Brazil, they're going to have to be extremely well organised, and he will play a crucial role in that.
I'm sure he will, and I certainly think it's not beyond the realms of doubt to suggest that he might come up with 1 or 2 big saves for them that might see them pull off some shock results, or certainly, keep teams out that might otherwise have expected to score goals. He's that kind of keeper that can make the difference in games, and it'll be interesting to see if he can do that for Switzerland at this World Cup. Looking at the defence for Switzerland, they've got Ricardo Rodriguez of Torino, they've got Fabian Schär of Newcastle United, Manuel Akanji of Manchester City, Nico Elvedi of Borussia Mönchengladbach, Sylvain Widmer of Mainz, and Eri Comert of Valencia. Manuel Akanji is probably the name that a lot of people certainly watching this show will be familiar with. A really good young talent at Manchester City, and somebody that could, potentially have a breakout tournament at this World Cup. Is that fair to say, do you think?
Yeah, no, I think he's definitely an emerging star to look out for, but the one for me there is Fabian Schär. He was linked with Celtic a few years ago. Very good, solid, classic European centre back. Doing a very good job with Newcastle just now. The fact that Newcastle, he was there before all the money came in, and he's still holding down a starting place there, kind of tells you his quality. That the new regime came in and they thought, yeah, this guy is worth keeping around. So that says a lot for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a situation like that, if you're worth keeping around, despite the fact that they're looking for replacements at every turn, that really is a stamp on your own quality. Going into the midfield, again, some more recognisable names there. They've got Xherdan Shaqiri, currently of Chicago Fire, but obviously formerly of giants like Liverpool and Bayern Munich. Granit Xhaka of Arsenal, Remo Freuler of Nottingham Forest, Dennis Zakaria of Chelsea, Djibril Sow of Eintracht Frankfurt. Eintracht Frankfurt, who did they beat again? Can you remember? Eintracht Frankfurt, who did they beat again?
Aye, it was who was it again? Aye.
Some wee diddy team anyway.
Aye, something like
that. Renato Stefan of Lugano, Fabian Frey, not Alexander Frey, who's famously appeared at previous World Cups. Fabian Frey, I wonder if he's any relation of Basel. Michel Abischer of Bologna, Ardon Jashari of Luzerne, Edmilson Fernandez of Mainz, and Fabian Rieder of Young Boys. Any standout names there for you, Liam?
Xhaka. Every time he plays, it's an interesting game. He's either going to score a beautiful goal or quite possibly get red carded.
Yeah.
He's a wholehearted wee guy. I'll give him that, and it's really he's a good guy to watch.
I have to say though, watching Arsenal in recent times, he does seem to have matured, and I would be hoping that on this stage he can maybe use that maturity to really guide Switzerland from the middle of the park and hopefully be a calming influence. I never thought I'd say that about him, but do you think that's fair to say?
Oh, definitely. I mean, he is one of the major reasons that Arsenal have really come into the contention for the English Championship this year.
Yeah,
because he is he's really found his place in that team, and he's reveling in it, and I hope that he's going to do similar for Switzerland.
Absolutely, and I really hope he is as well, because I think it could be the making of him if he can put in a strong performance there. Moving to the front line of attackers for Switzerland, we've got Haris Seferovic of Galatasaray, we've got Breel Embolo of Monaco, Ruben Vargas of Augsburg, Noah Okafor of RB Salzburg, and Christian Fasnacht of Young Boys. Not a lot of high-profile names there, but a name that stands out to me is Breel Embolo of Monaco. Quite a commanding physical presence up top there for Switzerland, and somebody who can really cause problems for any defence that he comes up against, given Switzerland an outball in the way that he does.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you look at the physique of him, it's very easy to think, oh, he's going to be that big sort of Emil Heskey style battering ram.
Mm-hmm.
And he can do that, but he's got a lot more football about him than that as well. Embolo has a brilliant touch, excellent quick feet, can strike the ball well with either foot, which is a bit of a rarity for heavier strikers, if you like. And he's the one that is going to get the bulk of Switzerland's goals in this tournament if they're going to score many.
Yeah, if they're going to score many indeed. Let's look at who they are potentially going to score those goals against. They are obviously in a group with Brazil and Serbia, who we've already covered, and Cameroon to come up. But let's see how the fixtures are going to work out for them. They are obviously opening against Cameroon in what is potentially the easiest game of the group for any of the opening teams. They then have a really, really tough game against Brazil in the middle of the group, followed by a game against Serbia to close the group out. They'll be targeting that 3 points against Cameroon before they even think about the other two matches, I would think.
If they're going to get out of this group, they need to beat Cameroon. Yeah. Because Serbia and Brazil are the two favourites to qualify from this group, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And we've talked about Brazil already. Probably the game against Serbia will be a Brazil victory. It's really going to put Serbia on the back foot if Switzerland can go into their clash with 3 points and we already have those on the board. And be halfway towards that second place, if you like. We might be writing off Cameroon a bit too early, but you would have to say that, given the way that the fixtures lay out, that some might suggest that Switzerland are in the more favourable position, or do you think that that's reading too much into the situation?
I think if Switzerland can take care of Cameroon, they're in the more favourable position. But if they don't win that first game, there's a hell of a lot more pressure on them getting into that second game, because Serbia would then have the chance to redeem themselves against Cameroon.
Yeah. And then by which time Switzerland could be getting themselves put out the World Cup. So yeah. No, it's going to be a difficult one and an interesting one to follow anyway. I think as these videos are going on, and we're going to cover Cameroon after this one, what's becoming clearer and clearer is, we do these videos, and the narrative that the group will take kind of makes itself clearer as we're doing these videos. I don't know about you, Liam, but I'm finding that the call that we made in the Brazil video, that this was a close group to call, is sort of borning itself out in the way that these videos are going. It's really hard to tell between Serbia, between Switzerland, who's going to get that second place.
Yeah, no, I mean, as I maintain, and you can't write Cameroon off either.
No.
I think that any one of those three could take that second place. I think it will be Serbia, but I could well be wrong, because I've been wrong already a couple of times in this tournament. So
we don't need to remind ourselves of that. It's going to happen plenty more times over this tournament to both of us, I'm sure. But that's what makes it so much fun. It would be boring if everything went as expected, that's for sure. Yeah. We shall see if things do go as expected in Group G when they kick off on the 24th of November. Until then, you can continue to watch all of the build-up videos to the Qatar World Cup here on Celtic Down Under. Liam, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time for another one.
Thank you. See you then.